Forrest Breyfogle here. In this session, I'll be describing a Kaizen Blitz approach to improve KPI and process performance measurement responses that benefit the big picture. This session will use the structure of the 9-step Integrated Enterprise Excellence, or IEE, business management system to describe how to conduct a Kaizen Blitz for improving an important KPI or process measurement response that benefits the business as a whole. Step 1 in this 9-step system is describe vision and mission. Step 2 is describe an organizational value chain which includes satellite level and 30,000 foot level metrics. Satellite level metrics are financial metrics and 30,000 foot level metrics are operational metrics. Step 3 is analyze enterprise. In this step, we want to identify potential process improvement metric opportunities. In this step, we want to consider IEE value chain metrics, voice of the customer inputs, theory of constraints, competition economy, and potential internal differences such as metric response dissimilarities between departments. Step number 4, we want to establish SMART, that's specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, time-based, satellite metric goals. For example, we may track at the satellite level EBITDA monthly, and our goal would be to increase EBITDA by 5% in 10 months. Step number 5 is create strategies that are in line with the goals for step number 4. Step number 6 is identify high potential improvement areas and establish SMART 30,000 foot level metric goals in these areas. Step number 7 is execute improvement projects to improve an identified KPI or metric. An improvement project could follow an IEE DMAIC roadmap, Kaizen event, plan to check, act, or another methodology. The technique used to make process improvements is not important. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz improvement approach, focus is given to enhance as soon as possible an identified 30,000 foot level metric that benefits the enterprise as a whole, where there's an ownership of the metric by a high-level manager. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improving KPIs and performance metrics, focus is given to improving 30,000 foot level reported metrics that will benefit the enterprise's financials, not simply executing all the steps of an IEE DMAIC roadmap. IEE DMAIC details are described in a clickable web page that I will reference during this session. Books referenced in web page drill downs during this session are Integrated Enterprise Excellence Volume 3, Lean Six Sigma Project Execution Guide. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach for process metric response improvement, focus is given to tracking and improving a process output metric response, as opposed to spending a lot of time creating a polished Lean Six Sigma project problem statement. In an IEE Kaizen KPI metric improvement blitz, one needs to describe how the improvement effort fits into the big picture and addresses a business satellite level metric improvement desire. As noted earlier, an IEE value chain describes what an organization does and how it measures what's done. Metric reporting is from a process output perspective. Example, IEE value chain for a hospital is shown below. An IEE value chain at the enterprise has functional drill downs. This IEE value chain function drill down shows 2 swim lanes. The top swim lane shows selected metrics to report from a quality, cost, and time perspective. This swim lane provides Y's in the relationship Y equals the function of X for this function. The bottom swim lane shows functions and process associated with this functional drill down. This swim lane provides X's in the relationship y equals function of x for this function. If y is unsatisfactory to the function, so x's need to be changed. An enterprise improvement plan, or EIP, shows project metric enhancement desires aligned to business metric benefits. Describing a project's metric improvement desires with its business benefits to others is important. For an IEE Kaizen Blitz to improve a KPI, or process performance measurement response, the metric should be shown in the organization's value chain and how its enhancement is aligned to overall improvement objectives of the business. Below is an illustration that shows a project's metric to improve in an IEE value chain. Below is an illustration that shows how a project metric enhancement desire is aligned to overall business metric goals in an IEE enterprise improvement plan. A much simplified value chain and EIP should be presented in an IEE improvement project report out when no IEE infrastructure exists in an organization. It is important to create an overall plan for a metric improvement project. In the IEE DMAIC roadmap that is provided at the website shown there, in shaded boxes have clickable drill downs. It is essential to create a baseline for the metric that is to be improved through the execution of a project. If this is not done, how can the benefits of a project with quantification be explained to others? A 30,000 free creation app is available for executing steps 3.2 and 3.3 to create a project metric baseline. A call center hold time response will be used to illustrate the IEE Kaizen Blitz approach for process metric response improvement. Using the previously described free 30,000 foot level app, the following call center hold time process output response is considered predictable with an estimated median time of 78 seconds and 80% of durations ranging between 25 and 243 seconds. Since this prediction statement is considered undesirable in the organization, process response enhancements are needed from this project. For metric improvements that involve workflow, such as lead time to complete a task, a value stream map and other lean techniques can provide valuable process improvement insight. For metric improvements that involve other responses, such as non-conformance rate, lean techniques are often not as valuable for determining what to do to improve a process. It is important to ensure 30,000 foot level and other metric reports are accurate. A gauge repeatability and reproducibility study is appropriate for some improvement projects. However, this analysis is not applicable for most metric improvement efforts. Brainstorming for metric improvement thoughts is very important in an IEE Kaizen Blitz approach to improve an organization's KPI, or process performance metrics response. There are many types of brainstorming session. A brainstorming facilitator should select a brainstorming approach that is most appropriate for the specific situation. One appropriate identified theories for improvement from a brainstorming session can be statistically tested for significance in the analyze phase. Consider that a process improvement team examined the 30,000 foot level output-wide response for the call center process. One item from a process improvement team's brainstorming session was that the hold time for a call could be longer if the call occurred during lunch. In the y equals a function of x relationship, this x input consideration will need to be tested for significance in the analyze phase of the IEE DMAIC roadmap. A significant difference conclusion from this input factor would provide evidence for a direction to where a process input effort should focus, that is, improving phone coverage during lunch. There are two primary analyze components in an IEE metric process improvement roadmap: These components can assist brainstorming and other theories for X inputs that could affect a Y, process output response. Understanding X's that affect a Y response can provide insight to what could be beneficial to do differently in a process so that a Y response is enhanced. Component 1. Visualization provides a picture of how process X's could affect a Y response. Component 2. Hypothesis tests provide a statistical assessment of how process X's could affect a Y response. Below is an assessment of whether a call during lunch and X has a longer hold time duration Y than a non-lunch phone call. Graphically and statistically, the duration of call center hold times appears significantly longer when a call occurred during lunch. Hence, the process improvement team should look into what can be done differently to improve call center coverage during lunch. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz to improve a KPI or performance metric, the IEE DMAIC improvement phase suggests many techniques that could be beneficial for a specific project's metric improvement effort. However, most techniques in this phase are not applicable to a specific project. In an IEE Kaizen Blitz to improve a KPI or performance metric, it is important for projects to show a staging of its 30,000 foot level chart to an enhanced level of performance that is consistent with its EIP desires for the project. It is important in an IEE Kaizen Blitz to document the newly created project's process so that others can easily find and follow the enhanced process methods. To accomplish this, process documentation can be entered into an organization's IEE value chain. It is also very important to have a control measurement that can be regularly monitored with little effort to ensure that the new process is continually followed. A project's 30,000 foot level metric can be a means to track the output of the process to ensure that process improvement gains are maintained. 30,000 foot level charts can be automatically updated, for example, daily, with an organization's IEE value chain using an Enterprise Performance Reporting System or EPRS software. In addition to the previous described need in the IEE DMAIC roadmap, Step 8 within the IEE 9-step system also describes showing and quantifying the benefits of process improvement efforts. In our illustrative application project, process changes were made, including call center coverage during lunch. The 30,000 foot level chart below indicates a reduction in hold time after the changes were made. If this new prediction statement is still unsatisfactory, additional process improvements are needed. Quantifying the benefit from this project. The call center hold time baseline was an estimated median time of 78 seconds with 80% of durations ranging between 25 and 243 seconds. The call center hold time after process improvement efforts is estimated to be a median response of 20 seconds with 80% of durations ranging between 11 and 37 seconds. The process improvement effort made a significant change to the hold time in the call center. IEE Enterprise Performance Reporting System or EPS software with its automatic metric updates behind an organization's firewall can provide a means to maintain the gain from process improvement efforts. The described Kaizen Blitz approach to improve KPIs and process performance measurement responses can be repeated over and over again, not unlike Deming's plan to check X cycle for continually improve the business as a whole.